Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you, Sheetal, for inviting us to be a part of this presentation. The topic of my presentation is dissolving barriers. I'd like to explore this topic on a couple of levels, especially in reference to washroom design. One is on a metaphorical level, where we are seeing that spaces which were traditionally perceived to fit, which had a certain look based on their function, now actually flow into each other. And on a more physical level, we are seeing that barriers between spaces are dissolving so that areas bleed into one another. This phenomenon of dissolving barriers is fueled by the changing scenario in the world today, and design is responding. The way today's mobile multitasking generation, the way it lives, it works, it plays, that is what is driving this change. So like our lives, even the spaces that we inhabit are blurring these lines between our working, social and our private selves. As a result of this, what we're seeing all over is that offices are now designed to feel more like homes. We have coffee shops, cafes, casual dining establishments which are looking more like, which serve as offices away from offices. Hospitals now look like fancy hotels, while hotels themselves serve as homes away from homes. The result of all this is that we are seeing that hotel design trends are crossing over into the residential design and vice versa. Hotel operators often, tout themselves of their ability to make a guest feel at home. And I think today they are challenged to deliver an even more literal interpretation of making a guest feel at home. This is because they realize that, travel-weary customers and guests appreciate more homely, warm, personal accommodation. In order to make travel more comfortable, more homely, touches of home are introduced in the hotel, while at the same time, the luxury that one experiences in a hotel is something that only most people can aspire in their everyday lives. This is why now high-end apartment complexes cater to more sophisticated tastes, and they borrow hospitality techniques to actually borrow. This is why high-end apartments we are seeing now, they're catering to more sophisticated tastes, and they borrow hospitality techniques to actually pamper their guests. This is seen especially in metros in large cities where premium hotel brands are getting into service apartments. We see hotel complexes are being marketed based on their tie-up with premium hotel chains. So this results in new opportunities for hotel owners, so they can differentiate themselves based on designing spaces that feel like home, while at the same time they influence their guests' actual home design. This may even create a closer bond between hoteliers and guests so that they can have greater guest loyalty. Now exploring this overlap in a little bit more detail, especially in reference to new trends in washroom designing, we're seeing that the modern tourist, he expects much more than what he gets at home on his journeys. In a world of demands, chaos, confusion, the washroom actually emerges as an oasis of calm, tranquility, a place where he can shut himself off. Guest bedrooms now not only need to make a statement, but they also need, the performance must meet and exceed the expectations of a guest, which is something that he would not experience in his day-to-day life. Bathrooms are now drawing actually customers, and hoteliers realize that by investing in a good bathroom design and giving a luxury experience to the guests, they can easily differentiate themselves from the competition. In these days, we are seeing that bathrooms are occupying almost a third of the allocated space for a guest room. This is great departure from traditionally over the last 20 years, where we've seen that guest room sizes have not changed, but the toilets have really increased. This is seen even more prominently in metro cities. where anywhere space is at a premium. Consequently, we see that bathrooms are actually becoming the hero of the space. Where if the budget is small or it's large, whether the surroundings are simple, whether they are luxurious, this bathroom design is changing, and design is responding to its elevated status. We've seen traditionally, in years gone by, bathrooms were usually these confined spaces. They were confined with walls, they hardly had windows, and obviously never had any views. But all that is changing. Now, since bathrooms are playing such a crucial role in the customer experience, designers are opening up these closed and cluttered bathrooms by increasing the levels of light and space, and thus dissolving these traditional barriers between the bedroom and the toilet. This drives designers to create additional space within the existing boundaries by use of various methods to create a more spacious feel. One of the ways is by having open washroom planning. This is a way of challenging precedent and social norms, a means of making even a smaller space appear much larger. Again, this is seen in urban environments where rooms are traditionally smaller, and by having an approach of an open planning, one can take advantage of the natural lights and views. In a similar vein, open planning can also increase the overall space of the bedroom or the living room in the suite by reducing the footprint of the bathroom. This is done by drawing out features such as the basin or the bathtub, and we situate them within the scheme of the bedroom or the living area. Then what happens is that the toilet is actually the only space that really needs to be compartmentalized. So it takes up much lesser space, and then the circulation space which was normally given to the elements in an enclosed bathroom is now added up and given to the non-bathroom space. In this way, the bathroom can be made smaller or larger depending on the time of day or use by the introduction of these elements. One of these elements is the use of transparent all glass walls that reveal the otherwise traditionally contained toilet, which was generally hidden from view. Now, by the use of these glasses, we are exposing that to the bedroom. There are other methods by which we can deal with this, this division of space between the toilet and the bedroom. One is the use of sliding panels. They could be in wood, glass, metal. These could be slid back and forth depending on the time of use, whether you want to include the space into your bedroom or you want to keep it away. Other methods are use of blinds. Blinds could be something that can be rolled up into the ceiling so they disappear when not in use. Otherwise, they could be wooden blinds or blinds that are encased in glass and which on a flick of a switch can be rolled up to give you a transparency. High-end solutions are switchable glass, where there is a transparent glass at most times, and again with a flick of a switch you can frost up the glass. So it gives you privacy as and when required. There are more creative ways of even handling this space. It could be jalis, it could be dry landscaping, it could be planters, it could be ledges. Any such way of introducing division between the bedroom and the toilet other than the traditional walls. In many cases, we've seen that the view from the hotel room is actually what sells the hotel. So, using this configuration of open planning, the guest is able to take full advantage of the view from any part of the room, whether even from the toilet for that matter. Because traditionally, when toilets were cut off, confined with walls, that was not the case. With this open planning, it's easily achievable to have an open a view which can be enjoyed from any part of the room. Current design projects increasingly they channel simplicity, timeless styling. All this can be achieved by clutter-free vanities. We can have under or above the sink shelving, recessed railings. We can have expansive mirrors, uninterrupted wall surfaces. All these tools can be used to create even the smallest, dullest toilet into a luxury haven. What is also important is that the careful selection of premium items that complement each other that go into the making of the bathroom. So while you are choosing each item independently and they look fine on its own, the idea is to have a synergistic approach so that finally, when you're using it all together, it all builds up to a harmonic whole, and the guest who is using this whole space has an experience that he will cherish. Using this rationale, of open planning and having glass divisions and all, this is a concept that we had presented for a hotel room at the HNFS exhibition. Here we were given a space of 8 meters by 4 meters, and we were told to present our own design for a hotel room. So here we steered clear of the conventional way of planning a hotel room with wardrobe on one side, toilet on the other side, and a sleeping area bang in the center. Here we, as we spoke earlier, we've tried and limited the area of space that needs to be confined or needs to be compartmentalized. So we've taken the shower and the WC, which were encased in a frosted glass cubicle in the middle of the room, and the rest of the functions were placed around them. So when you enter this walk-in space, there was a luggage rack which led into a wardrobe. The whole 8-meter length of the room had a single ledge that went from end to end. So it became, it started off from a dressing table, it became a basin counter, which ended into a clear sheet of glass, through which the study table is visible, which continues as a side table, and on the other side of the bed continues again as a side table. Here the whatever elements that we mentioned earlier of increasing the footprint of the toilet per se, limiting the closed spaces to a bare minimum, opening up the whole layout so that one can view the room right from one end to the other is evident in these images of the same space. So here we are seeing the room from the view from the room. So right from the bedroom you can see the counter that is piercing to the clear glass partition, and it continues as a basin counter right across into the toilet to the other end. This is a room from the view from the toilet itself. So here again you can see that the counter through the glass, it continues as a study table. There could be a provision of a blinds which can be pulled down if required for privacy. This shows the view of the room, of the bedroom, how it is visible. So the views, as we mentioned, can be enjoyed from any part of the room, including the toilet. These are more close-ups of the plumbing areas where the WC is mounted on a low wall, the shower was hung from the ceiling, and the basin is put on a counter. The experience of users within different spaces are merging, and so even the designs are overlapping. So following this trend, we are seeing that residential bathroom design takes inspiration, takes cues from hospitality design. This is because our bathing expectations are constantly being raised by magazines, by online images, hotels, and as a design practice, we are influenced by our travels, and the hotels can be a great source of inspiration, not just for us, but even for our clients. People, having stayed in all these wonderful hotels and resorts with their rainwater showers, double bowl sinks, large quantities of marble, etc., they want to emulate all these same elements back into their own homes. So we often seek to recreate that hotel experience when it comes to designing our residential projects, especially when it's the master bedroom layout or the master toilet or master suite. The way hospitality designs have influenced our washroom designs is demonstrated in some of these sites.